Hello and welcome to WP. Well, the Australian Medical Association in WA has this week welcomed a new president. Mark Duncan-Smith replaces Dr Andrew Miller, but with rising issues in WA's health system and COVID-19, Dr Duncan-Smith has big shoes to fill after Dr Miller's popularity. Tonight we profile Dr Duncan-Smith as he moves into the top job.
This week at WAMN, we took the time to sit down with new AMA WA President Mark Duncan-Smith to get to know the man who can shape our medical future. A lot can be said for knowing the person behind the press conferences. In a challenging environment, Dr Duncan-Smith's presidency will not be easy. Wage negotiations for the state doctors will be his first hurdle, with talks moving to the Industrial Relations Commission.
We've not had a lot of success with the government, even to the point where simple things that we asked for, such as permanency for doctors, they refused that. That's really a cost-neutral item.
But collaboration with government is the new president's watchword. Dr Duncan-Smith has flagged a change in direction from his predecessor's calls for Health Minister Roger Cook's resignation.
MAWA has called for the resignation of the Health Minister in the past, and to no avail. Now, I see the continuation of that conversation as being counterproductive.
Despite Dr Andrew Miller standing behind his calls for Cook's metaphorical head on a platter, his successor has played down the depth of feeling behind the push, saying he was forced into the criticism by circumstance.
It is essentially a position that I think Andrew was put into because of the fact that there were so many things going wrong. Now, whether or not it was realistic that it may result in the health minister resigning or not is a moot point. But it certainly has crystallised the concerns regarding the health system and the underperformance of the health system.
There will be many in government, not least Roger Cook himself, who will welcome the new, more conciliatory language favoured by the new president. A strong favourite with WAMN viewers for his robust and forthright criticism of the government, Dr Andrew Miller did frequently butt heads with the state government during the pandemic. Astute political observers will recall Premier Mark McGowan calling on the AMA president to be constructive with his criticism. But facing down a healthcare system in crisis, the new president has his work cut out for him, regardless of his approach. It will be interesting to watch what Dr Duncan-Smith brings to the sector to improve outcomes for both those seeking and providing healthcare. As the new president said, what is good for the patients is usually good for the doctors.
And now, here's this week's COVID-19 commentary with Dr Andrew Miller.
Hi, thanks for your time. It's been an evolving week with the AstraZeneca vaccine being restricted to people over the age of 60 due to the increase in the 50 to 59 age group getting the complication of this allergic-like phenomenon with blood clots that can have a very serious outcome. This is affecting people's confidence around the vaccine as a whole, and it's certainly making people now over the age of 60 feel as if they're being given, in some cases, a second-rate vaccine because it's not good enough for those who are under the age of 60. It remains a safe and effective vaccine, but people are inevitably comparing it to the vaccine which is available to younger people, which does not have that particular complication. And this is affecting people's willingness to have it, particularly as there's very little COVID risk in the community at the moment. And the government had previously been saying that people will have access to a wider range of vaccines from July, August, and so on. So we will see how that space evolves, but it'll be good to see better positive messaging coming from the government at the moment, unless seemingly random changes like we had in Western Australia to suddenly be giving Pfizer vaccine to 30 to 40-year-olds, which was not in accordance with national guidance and has now been cancelled. The situation with COVID in Sydney is a worry. We have the Delta strain out in the community there, and this particular strain of the virus spreads typically to quite a few more people per person who's infected than the previous ancestral strains of the virus. So it's interesting to see CCTV footage from the Westfield Centre where the limousine driver had managed to infect someone that they just walked past within 10 centimetres of them. And it suggests, again, the airborne spread of this virus is very important in the people who do spread the virus. So remembering that The situations in Perth previously where it hasn't spread at all from people who've been out a lot in the community are explained by the fact that only 20% of people who are infected with COVID will spread it to others. But those 20% tend to spread it to quite a lot of people. So until you have a number of people out there, it's unlikely that the cluster will take off. But once you get 10, 20, 30, 40 people, then the 20% of those that will spread the virus, suddenly that's a lot of people who are out there able to spread it around through airborne spread. So again, ventilation and masks going to be very important protections going forward, along with, of course, vaccine. And we can only hope that we will get lots more vaccines soon, protect the whole population. The aim being to get 80% of people over the age of 12 to be vaccinated as soon as possible with high effectiveness vaccines, so that we can get some herd immunity, which means that those who can't have vaccine or for whom vaccine doesn't work will be protected by the rest of us not being able to pass it on so much. Thanks very much for your time.
That was Dr. Andrew Miller, and that's WP for this week. We'll be back again next time, but for now, it's back to you.
Thank you, Nelson. And here's Leo with what's coming up on 6 News tonight.
Thanks guys, tonight on 6 News breaking news, Melburnians begin to enjoy more eased restrictions as the Chief Health Officer faces criticism over his trip to Canberra. Hopes this could be the city's last ever lockdown, but that's relying on a smooth vaccine rollout, which just received another blow. Plus, not enough activists call on the Morrison government to let the Billa family return to their home in central Queensland rather than community detention in Perth. Not so friendly, New South Wales police slammed for an apparent overreach in their arrest of a producer for comedian Friendly Geordies. Is this an attack on free speech? And no one ever said launching a news channel was easy, but Britain's GB News is already being mocked just a week after it launched for a mountain of technical failures, now being described as the RMS Titanic of TV. You can see full details on those stories and plenty more by heading to our YouTube channel. Just search 6 News Australia to find us, and our website 6newsau.com. For now though guys, it's back to you.
Thanks, Leo. And that's our weekly news and current affairs. We have the latest news on our website, wamnnews.com.au.
From Sarah and myself, we wish you good health, good night. See you next Sunday.
Take care.